Good tevach, everybody. So I'll tell you, Maisa. Nowadays, if kids want to get in trouble, there's ways to get in trouble. They have there's opportunities, unfortunately. But when you go back a couple hundred years in the shtatlach of Europe, you have to really look for trouble. Otherwise, it's not going to find you so much. So if you had a teenager in the town of Lubavitch, 200 years ago, so what could if the kid is struggling with staying on the straight and narrow and he's looking for trouble, what could he possibly do? So there's a mice about a kid like that in Lubavitch, and the only thing he can do, he saves up some of his money, he's working and so on, and he's not in yeshiva, he's barely from at this point, but he saves up his money to buy a racehorse. It's the equivalent of a motorcycle or something, And what does this kid do? So he spends his afternoons and his nights and late nights racing Cossacks, going with his racehorse. And he's talking pretty good. But, everyone in the whole city is looking at this kid as, a nebuch and a lo yitzlach, and it's a shame on his whole family. He's an outcast. And, obviously, as we know, he feels that. The kid feels the eyes of the city looking at him and judging him and so on. And he's being pushed further and further away because of that. So the Maisa goes that there was one particular Shabbos morning, where this kid was feeling a little bit extra rebellious. And he begins to just take a ride with his horse in front of the main shul in Lubavitch. Now, we know the halach is you're not allowed to ride a horse on Shabbos. This kid knew that, but he's doing it anyway, obviously lahachis, dafk in that place where just in a few minutes, everyone's going to come out of shul Shabbos morning, including the Rebbe, at the time it's Tzaddik. And so when all the chassidim begin to come out, the families, everyone, men, women, children begin to leave the shul, and they see this kid just trotting up and down the street in front of the shul lahachis. So they're all very upset. And they tell him, how can you do this? The Rebbe's going to be out in a second. He should sichel Shabbos. What are you doing? He doesn't care. Finally, after a couple of minutes, the Tzemach Tzedek comes out of the shul. Tzemach Tzedek sees the kid, knows what's going on, knows why the kid's doing this. And the Tzemach Tzedek comes over straight to the kid. And he says, call Moishi, whatever. He says, Moishi. And the kid's already defense mode, shields up. And the Tzemach Tzedek says, Moishi, that's such a beautiful horse. Where'd you get the horse like this? That's not the question he expected. So the kid says, Rebbe, I saved up some money and I bought this horse. And someone says, wow, Mom, it's just a gewaldige horse. It's so beautiful. It's probably very fast, no? And now the kid's already proud of himself. Yeah, it's very fast. So he says, do you race the Cossacks? Do you race the Goyim? So the kid's prideful. He says, yeah, I race the Goyim. And do you win? He said, yeah, I win all the time. It's a very good horse. So someone says, it's gewaldig. I'm so happy you win. So then the Tzemach Tzedek thinks for a second. He says, but Moshe, I'm worried about something. And the kid says, what, Rebbe? What are you bothered by? So he says, I'm worried that the horse is so fast, like you're saying, and you're so good at riding it, and it's used to racing. So I'm afraid what's going to happen if, let's say, you're just trotting down the street, not racing anyone, and the horse chaps a mishagas, and it's said that it thinks it's part of a race, and it's just going to veer off the road and use its speed to get lost, and because it's so fast, it's going to get lost very quickly, and you're going to find yourself in the middle of the woods without knowing where you are in 5 seconds. So the kid says, Rebbe, it's an innocent question. You're not. I understand you're not involved with the horses. It's not really a concern. The horses don't act like that. They know that I'm in control. It's never happened like that before. But the Tzemach Tzedek says, yeah, but it could happen. It could happen. What's going to be if that happens? So Moshe says, yeah, I don't know. It's a good point. I guess it could happen. So the Tzemach Tzedek said, but you know what though? I'm not really that worried. He says, you know why? He says, because the same speed that the horse has to get so lost so quickly, the horse can use the same speed to find its way back so fast and so quickly. And with that, the Tzemach Tzedek walked away. So Maisa, there's no such thing as a quality, a character trait in a yid that's bad. There's no such thing. It's just a matter of harnessing in the right way. And if you have a part of ourselves that somehow was a little bit wild and a little bit untamed and out of control, that got a Jew lost very quickly, that same fire and that same energy can get a Jew to become an even greater person back on the path, but even in a stronger way, quickly as well. Hashem should bless each and every one of us to be able to harness our koiches in the right way, and the same zerizas and the same hislavas that sometimes the Yetzer Hara uses, to realize that fire is not the Yetzer Hara's jurisdiction. He doesn't own that fire. That fire is it's in us for the neshama's sake, to harness that fire, that excitement for Avodas Hashem, to grow, to become the people that we have to become. We shall be zeichet to have a licht de gevach, a mazel de gevach, a simcha de gevach, and a gul de gevach. Be exalted, Tzadikim here, Amen.